Thanks for coming. So tonight we're going to talk about what we have here at Inglemoor High School in terms of world language. With us tonight we've got Ms. Kenning, German teacher, we've got Ms. Haining, Chinese teacher, and we also have ASL teacher right here, Ms. Bulak. There are four of us representing the department tonight, although there are more languages than are represented by the teachers that are here. So I'm going to start out just with an overview. Why study a language? Several points. Gain a different perspective, gain a global perspective, okay? Increase your ways to communicate, secondly. Also curiosity, if you have interest in another culture. Many of us have, there are many students that have family members that were actually born in another country besides the USA. If you like or love adventure, another good reason. Personal connection, could be family or your personal history. And then also have a love for learning. Now, one thing that's not up here in the slides, which is very, very important, is to get a good job, okay? If you think about Seattle in particular, with Amazon, with Starbucks, with Microsoft, with Boeing, these are all companies that want and need people that are bilingual at the minimum in the languages that we offer, okay? And this is very, very clear. We've talked, we have experience with these businesses, and they are constantly looking for people that have these abilities, okay? Some of the things that we offer here in terms of actual languages, this school is very fortunate because we have a very, very strong language department. We have American Sign Language at multiple levels, introductory all the way up to advanced at 300. The same with Chinese, we have from introductory level all the way up to 400 level, and it's part of the International Baccalaureate program at the school. The same thing with French, it's the same idea. German also, and Japanese as well, 100 to 400, and part of the IB program, and of course Spanish. We've got a full Spanish program as well. For going to the university, Washington, four-year universities require at least 2 consecutive years, so you have to take those back-to-back of a second language. But really, many schools require more than 2 years. So selective schools, we're using that term, would like to see at least 3 or more years of a second language. In addition, it fulfills one of your elective credits for graduation. So a little bit about the IB program. The IB program is an alternative to the AP program, Advanced Placement. So we have this here at Inglemoor. It's a very rigid program in terms of what's required for study, but students who go through it at the end are very happy that they've gone through it, particularly with their college experience. In freshman year, many come back to us and say, hey, it was a lot easier than some of the other students that I'm with because of IB. So the curriculum involves 3 basic levels. There's the initial or the lowest level, which is ab initio, then standard level and higher level. It covers all the skills, reading, writing, speaking, comprehension. It's very, very broad. But there is also a very specific oral component where students are required to be able to communicate and in terms of describing something, and also to be able to actually have a conversation. There's also several different writing styles that are required, anything from brochures to letters to how to communicate, editorial, etc. IB, we offer 2 ways to approach it here. One is what we call the full diploma program, which has specific requirements to go all the way through the course. But some people do not choose to do that. They decide just to take some IB courses. So if your student wants to do IB, if you guys want to do IB, but you didn't start a language in 9th grade, you can choose the language you most want to learn, and then you take 3 years, and then you test at what's called the ab initio level to do that. That point about language you most want to learn, that's really, really important, and we'll talk about that a little bit.
Here it is.
Okay,
How
here
do
you
we
go.
decide which language to study?
Okay.
No, I was just
right.
telling you that slide was up.
All right, so this is important because there's a lot of choices. And if you can really figure out what you're interested in, it's hard at first, but if you can think what one you're leaning towards and which one you get the most support in, from friends, family, or whatever, that's really important. So think about what language you like. When I chose to study French in high school, it was kind of a dumb reason. My brother took German, so I didn't want to take what he took. I mean, that really was the reason. You think about it a little more deeply. It worked out okay, but that's just the reason that I took. So you think about it. if you like what you're doing in the language, chances are you'll do a lot better in it, okay? And please don't just take it because your friends are taking it. However, if you have friends that are taking it and you have family members and stuff, that will help you, okay? ASL. Some people are more visual learners, some people are more auditory learners. ASL is excellent for visual learners, and it's very, very important, okay? For English language learners, we have an entire program for English language learners here at the school. They have to, English language learners are required to score at a certain proficiency level, and there's a district exam or the ELPA 21, which is a test that's the English language proficiency for the 21st century. So these are ways to qualify and to be tested into it. We have 2 levels here. One is Class 1, academic level, Class 1. That's, it supports students in other content area classes. Very, very important because, especially for English language learners, you have a whole nother set of language skills you need that are that's discipline specific, right? And so that's what that one does. Number 2, development class number 2, focuses on the basic skills, reading, writing, speaking, and listening.
Okay, I think that's,
And
I believe that's.
yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep quiet now. We've got students that are here to offer comments, especially if you have questions. So please ask these
So
guys.
students,
No.
we're gonna have you move up
Thank
and
you.
not be in the projector light. Go ahead and you can start asking, sharing information. Why don't we start from this side?
Oh, okay. My name is Benny. I'm in French 200 and Japanese 100.
I'm Andrew Nguyen, and I'm in Japanese 200.
I'm David. I'm in Chinese 200 and Japanese 100.
I'm Patrick. I'm in Chinese 200.
Hallo, ich heiße Altun, ich bin in Deutsch 300.
Hello, ich heiße Johanna and I'm in German 300. Hallo, ich heiße Ingrid und ich bin auch in Deutsch 300.
Hello, my name is Cassie, and I'm in ASL.
Hello, my name is Julia, and I take up ASL 300.
Hello, my name is Tegan, and I take up ASL 300.
So now let's go back and you guys can talk about what is it about world language that you really enjoy?
Okay, should I start?
You can start.
Okay, okay. So ASL, I think a lot of people are gonna say this, it's like all of their classes, it's a very tight-knit community, and like kind of, if you start sophomore year, no matter what year you start, you're kind of like with those people all throughout high school, like if you continue to take the language, and it's just very good experience being around the same people and like being with them, and it's just, I didn't know anything about ASL when I first took the class, and I took it and fell absolutely in love with the language. And I'm actually going to a college next year that has it, and I will be either majoring or minoring in it because it is just wonderful to be able to talk to different people in a way that's like, it's not as easy for them to communicate if they're deaf or hard of hearing, so it's just very cool to be able to reach out to them in a new way.
I would also say that my language has given me work experience. I've had people come into my work and I'm able to communicate with them and help them out with anything they need, which I can say is true for any language that you take here. All of our teachers are extremely qualified and amazing at what they do, and it's just really fun to grow up and learn a language with all of your peers.
Yeah, I like to reiterate, especially what Tegan said, like, by the time you get to the 300 level, like, you kind of have been in the same class with like the same people, so when you like, especially for ASL, like there's only like 20 of us in like 300 class, and so like you've all been together and like it's such like a community, and like everyone's kind of,
You feel very comfortable.
yeah, you're all like really comfortable with each other, and you're all friends, like even if like you're not even in the friends like same friend groups at all, like you're all friends, and so that's nice about it. And like a lot of the time, like learning a language doesn't feel like as much of school, like it's a lot more fun, I feel like, than like studying.
That's how
and, like,
most of the languages at our
yeah,
school are.
like it's not just ASL, it's like all the languages, like it's not as much of like school, it's like, oh, it's ASL class.
Something I would really like about German is there's like, English has like a ton of German stuff in there, so sometimes it's easier to learn a word because, you know, it's got English in there. Also, one really fun thing we do in German is we cook. sometimes. So obviously Germany has some really cool cuisine, so that's awesome, and I like having that part of it.
I remember the first day I came into German class and Frau Candy started speaking in German. That's just how she started the class, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm never gonna be able to learn, I'm never gonna be able to connect with this. And over the 3 years, I've learned to love this class so much and all the people in it that I'm going to Germany this summer, and I am just really thankful that I took a different language and was able to learn about a culture, and now I'll be able to explore it too.
It's just so important that you have passion in your language, because, I mean, I loved Europe and German culture, but I could probably only count to 10 and say hello in German before I went into class. And now, I mean, you learn so much. You walk through the halls and you see kids in your classroom and you're like, oh, hi, and you start speaking in your language, and it's like almost like a secret code. Language is just such a great way to open yourself out to the world.
So I actually know Spanish, but I took Chinese because I know that the 3 most important languages are like Chinese, Spanish, and English. So I thought it would just be really important to know, and even though I can't speak it like good at all, it's still really cool to learn, and the teacher is really great, and I really recommend Chinese.
And your world language is going to be one of your least stressful classes. You get to experience the culture through like celebrating the holidays and going on field trips. And since you're going to have the same people in your classes for a long time, you get to really know them, and everything just becomes really fun and a great experience.
Like so when you walk into a language classroom, it's like this different. It just feels different from the other classroom because like David said, same people in there. It's like totally immersed in this different culture. You get to experience holidays. You cook food, other travel opportunities. You get do all this fun stuff to connect with them, the culture, and it really like. When you see other people like from your class and around the school, like it's like it just affects like all of your schooling.
Like I said before, the teachers are very qualified teachers. They're great at the language. They're good at teaching it, and when you don't comprehend something, they explain it in a way that's easier to understand than a math teacher will explain like a formula that you would understand, and you'd grasp it easier than you would other classes.
Do we have any questions?
Is there any sense in changing a language? Say if I've taken Spanish in 9th grade and I want to do German.
Yes. I'll tell you. I've gotten tons of stories from students at school who wish they didn't take their language. I'm not going to say specifically what language is. But sometimes they joined the language because their friends were in it and they liked doing that and it was fun. The homework loads increase, school gets stressful outside of it, and they realize other languages had less work. I mean, but passion is another thing that if you really love your language, then that's what you're going to learn a lot in, and it's going to be what you have fun.
And you have to be cognizant of the requirements. In other words, for the IB, there's successive years.
Consecutive years.
Yeah, and just kind of going along with that, our sophomore year there was a senior in our ASL 100 class because he had been in a Spanish class and he just didn't do well with the language because I think it's because he wasn't passionate about it, and like he did a lot better in ASL because it was more visual and he was able, like it just really depends on the person that you are, and he was definitely a more visual learner and he learned that his last year. So if you're not passionate about the language you're taking now, I definitely do suggest like changing it because it's not too late to find a language that you're passionate about.
Well, and like I would add to that, like if you get up to like a certain point and then you take like 300 of something and then you're like, that's cool, but I kind of want to like try something else. Like for your senior year, you could like try a different language, like in the 100 level, and then like kind of dip your toe into something else and explore different languages.
We do have a lot of students who in their senior year will choose, maybe they're in their 4th year of one language and they'll be in a 1st year of another language if they have an open period.
Pardon the interruption. It is now time to move on to the 3rd and final session. Please make your way to the 3rd and final session.
I hope we answered your questions. Thank you.